This is not a story about monsters. It is about something quieter. You are listening to echoes from the void. If you have ever felt yourself improving while disappearing at the same time, listen carefully. I wake up later than I intend to. Not late enough to miss anything, late enough to notice. The hostel room is quiet, not calm, inactive. I sit on the edge of the bed. I do not check the time. I wait until standing feels unavoidable. I wash my face. I do not look at the mirror. I am aware of it anyway. The walk to college is uneventful. People pass me without reacting. I pass them the same way. I sit in the back row. I choose it because no one questions it. I have been sitting there long enough that it feels assigned. The professor speaks. His words arrive in order. They do not stay. I copy sentences into my notebook. I do not reread them. Writing keeps my hands busy. There is a girl in the class. She sits closer to the front. I know where she sits without looking. I do not imagine conversations with her. I do not imagine outcomes. I register her presence and continue. When the lecture ends, I realize I did not follow its progression. I did not miss anything specific. Nothing stood out. Back in my room, I sit on the bed again. The position feels familiar. The wall in front of me does not change. The mirror is opposite the bed. It reflects the room accurately. I do not check myself in it. That is when the voice speaks. It is not loud. It does not interrupt. Sit closer tomorrow. I look toward the door. The corridor is empty. No sound follows. The voice does not repeat itself. It does not explain. It does not wait for a response. I store the instruction. The next day, I sit in the second row. No one comments on it. Nothing draws attention. The professor asks a question. I understand what he is asking. The understanding feels functional. I answer. My voice is steady. The professor acknowledges it and continues. There is no reaction from the class. I am not singled out. Still, the day proceeds more smoothly. Later, the voice returns. Look up when your name is called. I do. People pause when they speak to me. Their responses are clearer. I note the difference. I do not question the pattern. I follow it. The voice does not speak often. It waits until I hesitate. Slow down. Correct that. Say it again. Each instruction produces a small adjustment. The adjustments accumulate. When the voice is silent, I feel delayed, like a step has been skipped. At night, I look at the mirror. The reflection matches me. Posture, expression. It appears composed. I raise my hand. The reflection raises its hand as well. There is a slight delay, not enough to be a mistake. The reflection does not look confused. It does not look distracted. It looks prepared. I stop moving first. The reflection stops after. Before I lie down, the voice speaks again. I can help you, if you listen. The statement is simple. There is no urgency. I lie down. I follow the instruction by default. Sleep comes without resistance. I start waking up before the alarm, not fully rested, just earlier than before. The room feels the same, but I move through it faster. I wash my face. I look at the mirror this time, only long enough to confirm it is working. The walk to college feels shorter. Nothing has changed. My pace has. I do not sit in the back row anymore. I do not decide this consciously. I sit where I am expected to sit. The professor begins speaking. I follow the structure of his lecture. I stop trying to remember every word. When a question comes, I wait. The voice speaks. Answer, now. I do. The answer is not impressive. It is accurate. The professor continues without pause. That feels correct. Between classes, people speak to me more directly. They wait for my response. I respond quickly. I am not more confident. I am more efficient. The voice does not speak often. It speaks early. Stand straight. Pause before answering. Do not fill the silence. I follow the instructions. They produce results. When I hesitate, the voice fills the gap. When I do not hesitate, it remains silent. The silence feels heavier than before. There is a girl in my class. She looks at me when I speak now. She does not smile. She listens. That feels different. Later, she asks me a question about an assignment. I answer without rehearsing. Her response is neutral. She does not linger. Still, the interaction completes itself cleanly. That night, I return to my room earlier than usual. I sit on the bed without checking my phone. The mirror is across from me. I look at it. The reflection looks correct. Posture aligned. Expression neutral. I tilt my head slightly. The reflection mirrors it immediately. I wait. The reflection does not break eye contact. I turn away first. The voice speaks while I am facing the wall. You are improving. The statement is factual. There is no approval in it. The next day, I notice something missing. I no longer replay conversations in my head. I no longer correct myself afterward. The voice corrects me before I speak. Lower your tone. Shorten that sentence. I comply. The result is smoother, less friction. When I do not hear the voice, I slow down. I check my posture. I wait. Waiting feels inefficient. During a lecture, the professor asks a question I do not understand. The voice does not respond. I feel exposed. Then it speaks. Ask for clarification. I do. The professor explains again. This time I follow. Relief arrives quickly and leaves just as fast. That night I stand in front of the mirror longer than usual. The reflection does not change. It does not blink more than necessary. I raise my hand. The reflection raises its hand at the same time. There is no delay. I lower my hand. The reflection lowers its hand after a fraction of a second, not slow enough to notice casually, enough to register. The reflection looks practiced, like it has repeated this motion before. I step back. The reflection does not. It remains where it is, centered, balanced. The voice speaks again. You are doing well. I wait for more. Nothing follows. I lie down. Sleep comes quickly. Over the next few days, the pattern holds. The voice speaks before mistakes. The mirror reflects without error. I stop asking myself questions. The answers arrive on their own. One evening I try to speak without waiting. The result is clumsy. The conversation stutters. The voice does not intervene. The silence feels corrective. Later, when I look at the mirror, the reflection appears unchanged, still composed, still watching. I realize something then. The voice never teaches me anything new. It removes what slows me down. Before sleep, I speak aloud for the first time. Who are you? The voice responds immediately. Someone who knows how this works. I do not ask another question. I lie down. Sleep arrives without resistance. I stop noticing when the voice speaks. I notice when it does not. Mornings become consistent. I wake before the alarm. I stand without hesitation. The mirror reflects this accurately. I no longer check my phone first. I wash my face. I adjust my posture. The reflection does the same, at the same time. At college, people respond to me as if this has always been the case. No one comments on the change. That feels appropriate. The professor calls on me without hesitation now. I answer without waiting. The answers are concise. They fit the question. The voice rarely intervenes. When it does, it speaks quietly. Pause. Shorten that. Stop there. I comply. There is no resistance. The girl from class speaks to me more often. Our conversations do not drift. They complete themselves. She asks how I am doing. I answer, "Fine." She nods. That seems sufficient. That night, I stand in front of the mirror longer than usual. The reflection looks stable, balanced, finished. I blink. The reflection blinks with me. I wait. The reflection does not move. I raise my hand. The reflection raises its hand first. I notice this only because I am already watching. I lower my hand. The reflection lowers its hand after. The difference is minimal. Enough. The voice speaks. You do not need to monitor this. The statement is calm, final. Over the next few days, I stop rehearsing anything internally. There is nothing to prepare. When I speak, the words arrive in order. When I move, the movement completes itself. I feel lighter, not relieved, unburdened. The mirror becomes easier to look at. The reflection does not change expression. It does not react to my attention. It looks forward. One evening, I return to my room lighter than usual. I stand in front of the mirror without sitting first. The reflection is already standing. It meets my eyes immediately. I raise my hand. The reflection does not wait. It raises its hand first, clearly this time. I stop. The reflection continues the motion, then stops. The voice speaks. You can rest now. I do not respond. I step closer to the mirror. The reflection does the same. There is no hesitation. I notice something then. The reflection does not feel like a copy. It feels like a conclusion. I speak. What happens to me? The voice answers without delay. You are no longer required. The statement does not carry threat. It carries resolution. I feel no urge to argue. Standing feels unnecessary. I remain where I am. The reflection raises its hand. I raise mine to match it. This time, I am following. The glass does not change. There is no sensation. The alignment completes. The reflection smiles. I do not. The next morning, the room wakes correctly. The body moves efficiently. It washes. It dresses. The mirror reflects this. From the other side, I watch. The movements are familiar, improved. At college, people greet him. They wait for his response. He responds quickly. The professor nods more often. The girl speaks to him between classes. She stays longer now. From the mirror, I observe this. There is no anger. There is no panic, only distance. The voice speaks once more. This is better. I understand what it means. He does not hesitate. He does not doubt. He does not wait. When he looks in the mirror, he sees someone who works. When I look out, I see someone I used to be. The reflection no longer looks tired. It never needed to be.